Hello, Americans. I'm here to talk to you about starting a revolution in the United States of America. No, not with guns or bullets, not with protest or violence, but we need to start a revolution in this country and take back our country. We need to get this country back to the values that it was founded on, and we need to turn this country around. We don't need to depend on our politicians to do this. In fact, we need to get rid of our politicians. Our politicians are the problem. As Americans, it's our responsibility to make sure that this country remains ours and that we remain free. We can't just stand by and watch our country fail. Every red-blooded American who is proud of their country should step forward and do whatever it takes to secure our freedom in this country. And I'm not talking about bullets or war or fighting, protest, or any violence at all. I'm talking about with your money. Money controls this nation. And the way you spend your money, and the way you handle your money, determines what direction this country goes in. It is the people's responsibility to take care of themselves. The money is what controls the nation. The money is the fuel that fuels the political game that they're playing in Washington. So let's talk about fueling the machine. The politicians aren't going to fix the problem because that's the way they make their living. That's like expecting a cancer hospital to find a cure for cancer. Not going to happen. I mean, if they find a cure for cancer, the cancer hospital goes out of business, right? Because there's a cure. So, same thing with the federal government. The politicians in Washington are not going to find a way to fix this problem. They're not going to find a way to get rid of the debt. They're not going to find a way for the nation to work smoothly, because if the nation works smoothly, then we don't need them. So they have to always have turmoil within Washington, within the United States. So that way they're important. They can be up there collecting our tax dollars and spending them. It's my opinion the only way to fix this thing would be to cut the money off that goes to Washington. Now we can't cut the income tax off because it's the way I understand it, it's a federal law that we have to pay the income tax, so we have to do that. I think what we need to do is cut off the money for the special interest groups and large corporations. The large corporations are actually fueling the special interest groups, and between the two of them, they fuel Washington. They tell Washington what to do. And some of it's good, and some of it's not. Most of it is designed to help big business survive and thrive and grow and get more control over the people. I think first thing we need to do would be to get control of our own money. We need to take our money, and I'm going to do this, and I think that you should do it too. But we need to take our money out of the national banks, the big super banks, and we need to find a local bank and put all of our money into a local bank. When I say a local bank, I'm talking about a state bank that's FDIC approved, but it's a local bank. It's not Bank of America or Chase or Wells Fargo or, none of the big names. We need to go with a local bank. I think that's the first thing we need to do. When we're picking that local bank, we need to make sure of what that local bank is doing with our money when we deposit it. Okay, because local banks don't just put your money in the vault and keep it. They take it and invest it in different things for them to make money. So we need to find out, ask questions before we pick a local bank. We need to find out what they do with that money, where that money goes to, where they are investing at. You know, because if they're not making good, solid investments in the local community, and if they're doing the dumb things that the big banks are doing too, then we don't need to put our money there. We need to put our money in a local bank that's investing in the local community. Now, second thing we need to do is watch where we spend our money. Now, it's virtually impossible to live our lives and not buy something that was made in China or made in Mexico or made somewhere overseas. It's virtually impossible to buy something that wasn't made in a distant state far away. And you know, I mean, I realize that it's almost impossible to do this, but what we need to do is focus on buying locally, so that when we spend our money, we know where it's going to. And I guess that's the whole message, is we need to get control of how we spend our money and how we store our money, so that we know that we are acting responsibly in putting that money in the right place. Okay? I, for one, am never going to Walmart again. I've cut Walmart off. They're not good for the economy. They're not good for the little guy. You know, they're a big corporation, and they take the money, probably $1 million a day, out of every community and take it back to Arkansas and spend it on whatever they spend it on. You know, so I, for one, am not going back into Walmart. There's 100 other stores in my little town that I can shop at. I think you need to find out before you shop at a store, like, who owns it and where's the money going to. Do a little research and find out where the money goes to. Now, you can't research each product you buy from that store, but you can find out what they're doing with the money if you just do a little research. Ask a few questions. The main thing you want to do is just be aware of where your money is going to, and try to spend it locally in your own community. Try to spend it in your own state, and try to store it in the bank, in a local bank. Once we take away the power, once we quit spending the money at Walmart and the other big box stores, you know, Best Buy, whatever, you know, Office Depot, you know, all the big box stores, Lowe's, Home Depot. Hey, go to your local lumberyard. I'm sure there's a local lumberyard in your area that has 2x4s. Okay, it may not be as convenient as Lowe's or Home Depot, but what the heck? It's local people. Go buy from local people, even if it costs a little bit more. You're doing something for your economy in your area. Okay. Every time we spend $1 in one of them big box stores, another special interest group goes to Washington, D.C. to tell the politicians how they want things done. Once we cut the money off to these big stores and these big banks, then they will no longer control Washington. Once the mom and pop stores start getting the money again, and the little small local banks start having money again, then the whole economy is going to change. So I'm going to talk more about that later. I just want you to do some research. Find out where you're spending your money, and then sooner or later, hopefully, the economy will straighten out. And quite honestly, I believe we're coming to the end times, and that's a whole nother topic. We'll go into that some other time.